Hi guys, in today's video we'll be looking at how to play Tristana in Season 8. The first thing you're going to need to know about Tristana are her runes. Going into Season 8, Fleet Footwork with Overheal, Bloodline, Coup de Grace in the Precision Tree, and then from Domination, Zombie Ward and Taste of Blood is the best, purely because all these sources of healing plus Overheal means that you'll get a shield that equates to about an auto attack worth of damage in the early game. And this will allow you to auto-attack trade with the shield up, and if they don't have the shield you'll be able to whittle them down and potentially all in them. A slight change you can make to this rune page is taking sudden impact. This allows you to have a little bit more all-in potential with the lethality and magic penetration that work quite well on Tristana in the early game. And the final possible rune page that you can take that's quite strong at the moment is the Press the Attack, Triumphant, Alacrity, Coup de Grace rune page. This allows you to all in. It's really good with like an Alistair, a support that you want to be engaging in like level 2, 3, 4 and try and win the laning phase off of those all-ins. One thing to note about this rune page though is that if you all in and it fails, so you do not get a kill or do not get them so low that they need to play like absolute pussies, then they will be able to sustain back up and you will lose control of the lane if they have taken the rune page that we spoke about previously. So here we have Fleet Footwork actually working in game. You'll get an energized auto attack. As you move and auto attack or use abilities, you'll charge it back up, and once it's ready to use again it will give you a heal that scales with your AD. Tristana's passive is called Draw a Bead. This gives you auto attack range every time you level up, so this is handy to keep in mind when laning because you will be able to outrange most ADCs after level 2. This also means that the more levels you have the safer you can farm because you will be able to farm from a further distance than the opponent. There are certain interactions regarding Tristana's passive with Dragon and Baron. At level 11 you will be able to auto attack Dragon from over the wall, and at level 13 you'll be able to auto attack Baron from over the wall. This is good depending on what side your team is on. Now time for Tristana's abilities. Her Q is an auto attack speed steroid that synergizes pretty well with her E. Her W is a jump / gap closer with a reset mechanic. Her E deals physical AoE damage depending on how many auto attacks and spells you use before the explosion occurs, up to 4 times. And her ultimate deals magic damage and knocks enemies back. Now let's look at some of Tristana's mechanics. The first one is a W reset mechanic. This is where you will get your W cooldown back after you've used it if you get a kill or assist, or if you explode your E before the detonation occurs. This will be done by using 4 abilities or auto attacks. This means that you can do things like jump away from an enemy whilst you've E'd them and auto attack them and blow up the bomb. This is best on tanks because you know you're going to get your W reset again, so you can sort of double jump. In this example here we find ourselves being chased down after trying to get top inhib. Hecarim goes in and I'm just trying to deal damage to Lee Sin and Fiora because I know they're more important targets than Poppy. Hecarim then goes back in and I'm looking to try and get a reset so I can pop off in this team fight. I end up getting my jump blocked by Poppy, so I know I have to get 4 autos onto Lee Sin, which I do. Now I've got my jump back, I can set up kills on the Poppy to get my reset again onto Lee Sin and end up cleaning up the fight. This is good to remember on Tristana because you can jump ahead of time. If you know you're going to get a kill you can use your jump before you've got the reset, so you can jump again towards other enemies, closing them down really quickly, and because you know you're going to get the kill you're going to get your jump back, sometimes even mid-flight, and this is really strong when you want to snowball the team fight. Another mechanic regarding Tristana's W is the CC cancel mechanic. This is where you jump just before the instance where you get hit by CC. This will cancel the CC and the jump will go through. This works really well against champions like Blitzcrank, as you'll see in this example. Timing is everything in this mechanic, and I'd recommend going in and playing some normal games and practicing it there before you rely on it as heavily as I do in the second example. Tristana is in a middle ground of Caitlyn and Jinx. She has the siege power of nearly Caitlyn and is also quite a strong hyper carry like Jinx with a reset mechanic. So you need to use both sides of this. Use her E and E passive to shove waves quickly, and then when you get to the tower, use your E on the tower. Make sure that you wait until all the minions that you can are underneath the tower when the E explodes, because it will deal loads of damage to them and you'll be able to push that wave just as quickly and keep on hitting the tower. Do keep in mind that whilst 4 auto attacks whilst your E is on the turret will deal more damage to the turret and the minions around it, it will not give you your jump back, so don't go doing any crazy jump in, kill the tower, jump out players. One thing I didn't tell you about Tristana's ultimate when I said it can knock enemies back is that it can knock multiple enemies back. This is good if you or a teammate are being chased down by multiple champions, you can knock them back and get away safely. However, one thing to keep in mind is that they have to be relatively clumped up, otherwise you will only knock one of the champions back. Tristana can be a very bursty ADC, especially when she's ahead. This is probably her best weapon when she wants to quickly burst someone down. You want to E, auto attack once or twice, ult, and as they're flying away from you, auto attack again. It will detonate the E, apply the magic damage from your ultimate, and deal a lot of damage to them very quickly. In the early game, Tristana is a good all-in champion. She's good paired up with an all-in support, but if you don't have that, then just wait for a jungler or a mid laner to come to your lane and then use your gap closer and burst from your ult and your E to pick up a few kills and snowball to the mid game. As Tristana in the early to mid game, you also want to be trying to group up, get towers and accelerate the pace of the game. Even though you are good late game, you do get outscaled by some champions like Vayne, Jinx, Twitch, so you want to be trying to group up using your E to kill towers quickly, as we see here in this example. I quickly go mid after getting a kill on Poppy, we push the mid lane and we get loads of damage on the mid lane tower. Now they don't react in time, so what happens is we end up getting 2 towers in the mid lane just because they don't respect the pushing power of Tristana with her Q and her E. However, if you're not able to accelerate the pace of the game and you stay pretty even, then you just have to look for opportunities to get the bot lane tower and then rotate to the top lane and get the top lane tower. This does come at a trade-off though. If Dragon is up and you're on the top side with your support and their bot lane is on the bot side, then they will probably have control over Dragon whilst you will have control over the top lane tower. On Tristana, in the late game, you want to be grouping up with your team and fighting over objectives and sieging towers. A mixture of your high range, thanks to your passive, and good burst damage and reset mechanics means that you should be able to navigate through a team fight, dealing damage to the front line with your E on maybe a tank or a fighter, deal a lot of damage to them, wait for your reset mechanic, and navigate through a team fight relatively safely. Don't jump in whilst there's still 4, 3, or even maybe 2 people alive, because if you do get killed and outplayed late game as the ADC, you will probably lose your team to fight. But thanks for watching guys, I hope you learned a thing or two. This is my first kind of video like this, so if you could leave a comment telling me what I could do better next time, then that would be much appreciated, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks.